The Detroit Lions have fixed a lot of things because last year they started the season off terribly, got red hot, and this year they've continued the red hotness, and they jumped out to a 21-0 lead against the Derek Carrs in New Orleans. It was so bad that Derek Carr was getting cheered when he was coming off for Taysom Hill and getting booed when he was coming back on to come under center. Then he got the snot knocked out of him, which happens about every 3 weeks, and he looked like they were going to have to take him out of there literally in a body bag. Luckily, he walked off, but Yolo Jameis came in and was throwing darts all over the yard, and things got crazy. Brinson, is this sustainable for Detroit? Because they are a fun football team. Jahmyr Gibbs, all the rookies are going off. Brian Branch, Sam Laporta, all had great games, but it feels like they're at the point in their process where they're red hot, and then they fall asleep for 25 minutes and wake up and allow Derek Carr to get back into the game, and then they can flip the switch that you're talking about with the Chiefs and get back to it. So that feels like a dangerous game to play this time of year.
So I think that at this point of the year, it's important to take the entire season in context. And that's what I'm going to try to do with the Lions here. They have beaten the Chiefs obviously beaten the Chiefs in week 1 on the road in Kansas City. They split with the Packers, which is fine. Green Bay's a better team. Green Bay is actually kind of what we thought they would be, a wild card team that would hang around. And if Jordan Love was playing well, they'd be a problem. They split with them. They lose to the Ravens. They lose to the Seahawks in overtime at home, coming off of that Chiefs win. And again, the other losses is against the Packers at home. Now, that was recent, and they have struggled. Like, they struggled against the Bears badly. Jared Goff was not good. That was at home. To lose to the Packers at home, not great. You go to the Saints, and you play with your food again. I think that this is a really good Lions team that is probably at 9-3 now, having maybe a little bit over their skis in terms of where they even thought they would be. And so this is kind of a regression to the mean of sorts. The good news for them, they have the Bears. Actually, bad news, they have the Broncos at home. They do get the Vikings twice. And I feel like if you're going to get the Vikings twice, after the Josh Dobbs Cinderella story has crashed, is a pretty good spot. I think worst case, they split with the Vikings. Let's say they lose at the Cowboys. That's fine. Cowboys are great at home. Do you split Bears and Broncos? I'm just trying to figure out. They have 5 games left. How many games do they win of those 5? At Chicago versus Denver, at Minnesota, at Dallas versus Minnesota. I think 2 and 3 worst case.
I was going to say 3 and 2 worst case.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I think 3 and 2 is likely. I think that's the likely record because you lose. Yeah, 4 and 1 is possible. This is a good, tough team that is probably a year ahead of where we thought they would be relative to the entire picture. 9-3 is an outrageous record, and this is good.
I'll just say to Brinson's point real quick that, you just kind of went through all the games in the season, which was kind of fitting because I felt like this 4-quarter game against the Saints epitomized their entire season, where you look at the first quarter, they're up 21-0, and you're like, oh my God, the Lions could literally be the best team in the NFC if they were to play like this all the time. And then the second half, it's like, okay, this is the Lions team that lost to the Packers. This is the Lions team that almost lost to the Bears. Why is this Lions team keep showing up when they could have just stomped New Orleans out and put them away? So they're a little inconsistent, but I think they're talented enough to beat anyone in the NFC if they play their best game. It's just they're a little streaky right now.
Fastest team to 21 points in a game since the Raiders in 2010. The first team since the 86 Vikings with 3 offensive touchdowns in the first 7 minutes of a game, and it's their largest lead through the first quarter of a game since 1944. They're also out to their best start since 1962. The Lions are here. You just sort of wonder if they're a little wobbly because they don't know how to handle it.